Following video is brought to you by the Boston Sports Entertainment Network. Please consider liking and subscribing for more Boston sports content. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Boston Sports Entertainment Network. My name is Brandon Cole, and I'll be your host for this video. Today we are diving into the question, what should the Red Sox do with Masataka Yoshida? Now, I understand that this is a loaded question, and a few months ago most fans probably wanted this guy out of here, but he's been pretty hot since coming off the injured list, right? Like, he hit that clutch home run against the Yankees recently. He's been driving the ball. He's not a big home run guy. He never was and never will be, but he hits the ball and he gets on base. That's who he is. That's who he was in Japan. Obviously, he started off slow this year. He tapered off towards the end of last year. But what people have to remember is that's just growing pains, right? I don't care where you come from, whether it's Japan, Korea, the minor leagues, the Dominican. There's going to be a transition period. There's going to be growing pains. There's going to be adjustments to the league. And I think that's what he's going through. So this guy isn't as bad as a lot of people think he is. I mean, the Red Sox have pretty much said he's just a DH, which I don't understand because, yeah, he messed up some of last year, but he's also made some really good defensive plays in the outfield. Like, he's an average outfielder. He's not bad by any means. So, like, I don't understand that side of it. But there's a pretty big reason why I think the Red Sox need to hold on to this guy. And that's the message that it would send to the rest of Japan if you get rid of him, whether it's through trade or DFA. And you might be asking yourself, what would Japan care if the Red Sox get rid of Masataka Yoshida? And that's what it boils down to, is that in that culture over there, getting rid of him this early into his major league career when you signed him to a 5-year contract is very disrespectful. And the Red Sox would have to explain that to any Japanese talent, at least for the rest of the Breslow regime and possibly through the rest of the Fenway Sports Group regime, which they don't seem to be going anywhere or have any designs on selling the team. So that's a lot of years of having to explain to guys why you gave up on him so early, why you didn't give him at least 3 years to adjust. For example, there's a kid by the name of Roki Sasaki who, by everything I've read, wants to come over this upcoming offseason. Now, this is a guy that the Red Sox need to be all over, in my opinion, simply because if he does decide to come over, he cannot come over as an unrestricted free agent, because there's a rule in Japan that states that you have to play 6 seasons in Japan in order to enter the MLB as an unrestricted free agent. Now, what that basically means is that he would not be allowed to sign a big money multi-year deal like Yamamoto or Imanaga did this past offseason. Instead, he would have to go the route of Shohei Ohtani and enter as a minor league free agent, which means that he could only sign for the league minimum, which I think is like 740,000, something around there. So what it ultimately comes down to is going to be signing bonus. Who pays the most? Where does this kid want to go? Stuff like that. And this is a guy you don't want to have to explain to why you either traded or DFA'd Masataka Yoshida a year and a half to 2 years into his big league career. And this is a guy that you'd have to ensure, if he's going to sign with you, that you're not just going to do the same to him if he struggles. I mean, so that is the disadvantage that this creates for the Red Sox if they decide to get rid of Yoshida prematurely. This whole potential disconnect from all of this talent coming over from Japan in the next few years, which is something that I think the Red Sox need to be in on. So I really think that it's in the Red Sox benefit to hold on to Yoshida, even if he's just an average big leaguer. It's about more than that. And I feel like to judge him fairly, you need to give him the rest of this season into next season. Look maybe at the trade deadline next season if he's not panning out. If not, even longer than that, like all of next year would probably be your safest bet, because then you can say, hey, we gave him 3 full years, 3 of the 5 that we signed him for. He didn't pan out. It's nothing personal. And if you sign here, whether it's as a minor league free agent in the case of Roki Sasaki, or an unrestricted free agent in a few years as the case of someone like Munetaka Murakami, that you can assure we're going to give you some time to adjust. And that's ultimately the message that you want to send to Japan, when I believe personally that Japanese players are going to be integrating over here at a higher rate in the next 5 to 10 years. We're going to see a lot of talent come through. And again, the Red Sox do not want to miss on that talent. So that, to me, is the most important reason to hold on to Masataka Yoshida. And then, like I said before, he's not as bad as a lot of people think he is. And, I don't know why Craig Breslow seems to not like him. I don't know why all of a sudden it seems like the Red Sox want nothing to do with this guy, when just a year ago they signed him to a 5-year, $90 million deal and made him the highest paid position player to come out of Japan at that point, in terms of his first contract. And I don't know, did they expect him to be something that he wasn't? Because, like I said, by all intensive purposes, he is the player that he was from Japan. He might be struggling a little bit, but he's a guy that draws walks. He's a guy that gets on base. He was never going to be your big home run guy. So if that's what you were expecting him to be, you didn't do your research, because it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what kind of player this guy was in Japan. And he was a very, very, very good player in Japan. And I just think we need to see a little more out of him and give him some more time to do his thing. But that's just my opinion. I know there's a lot of you guys out there that probably want him gone. Maybe not so much anymore since he's been hot lately. I don't know. But, that's where we're at. But for all intents and purposes, hold on to him for the next year and a half at least. That's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you like and subscribe for more Boston sports content. And if you'd like to hear me talk about baseball around the whole league, head on over to my channel, Black Eagle 2407 Streaming, and look for Ballin' in the Port in the podcast section, or search Ballin' in the Port on Spotify. On behalf of myself and the entire Boston Sports Entertainment Network, thank you and have a great day.